All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I think you're going to be really interested in this one.
Yeah, I think so too. This one's pretty wild.
Yeah, so today we are going to be taking a deep dive into Prius Doctor.
Prius Doctor?
That's right.
Yeah, have you heard of this?
I have now done my research, and I'm fascinated.
I mean, I'm fascinated too. I've been driving around the valley my whole life, and I've never heard of these guys.
Yeah, it's interesting like how this business model even came to be. But yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, so they're a family-owned business.
Family owned and operated.
Yeah, and they're offering weekly leases on older model Priuses with unlimited mileage.
Unlimited mileage.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
And it starts at just $200 a week.
I mean, come on.
Okay, so that's what we're looking at today. Is this the deal it appears to be?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, so first of all, we're talking about older Priuses.
Right.
So these are not brand new cars coming off a lot.
No. These are, they've been around the block a couple times. Yeah, what kind of mileage are we looking at on these things?
Well, it varies. Yeah, they don't really advertise that specifically.
Right.
But, we're talking Priuses that have been used for, personal use, maybe even some rideshare in the past.
Right. So they've seen some action.
They've seen some actions, exactly. But, that's where the repair shop comes in.
Right, because this is what's interesting to me is that they are also a Prius repair shop.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's not like they're just buying these things up at auction and then just leasing them out with no, TLC or
No. They're putting them through their own shop, making sure they're good to go.
Right. So they have a vested interest in making sure that these cars are reliable.
Exactly. Yeah. And, I think that's part of what makes this model so interesting is that they're not just trying to make a quick buck.
Right.
They're trying to build a sustainable business.
Yeah. And I think that's smart too, because if you're leasing out a car that breaks down all the time,
Right.
you're going to lose customers.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of unhappy people.
Exactly. So it makes sense for them to make sure that these cars are well maintained.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so we've got these older Priuses. They're well maintained.
Yeah.
They're leasing them out weekly.
On a weekly basis.
$200 to start.
Pretty good deal.
Okay, so who is this for?
That's a great question.
I mean, like, who is the target market for this kind of deal?
Well, I think, right off the bat, you're thinking rideshare drivers, delivery drivers, people who are using their cars for work and putting on a lot of miles.
Right, because the unlimited mileage is huge.
That's a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing Uber or Lyft or you're delivering for DoorDash or something like that.
Grubhub.
Yeah, you don't want to be worried about going over on your mileage.
No, absolutely not. You're trying to make money. You don't want to be paying extra fees.
Exactly. So this takes that worry away.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant in that sense.
Yeah. And then I guess also, people with credit challenges.
That's a big one.
Yeah, because they don't do a credit check.
No credit check. That's a huge plus for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, if you've had some bumps in the road,
Right.
You might not be able to get a traditional car loan or lease.
Exactly. And, even if you can get one, the interest rates might be sky high.
Right.
So this is a way to get into a car without having to jump through all those hoops.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like they're just giving these cars away to anyone.
No, of course not.
They still do a background check and a driving record check.
Absolutely, yeah. They want to make sure that you're a responsible driver.
Right. They're not going to put you in a car if you've got a suspended license or something.
Exactly, yeah. So it's responsible, but it's also accessible.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about the lease itself.
Okay.
Because it's a lease. It's not a rental. And that seems kind of unusual for a weekly setup.
It is unusual. Yeah, most weekly car situations are rentals.
Right. So what's the difference here?
Well, with a lease, you're basically taking on the responsibilities of ownership for that period of time. So you're responsible for insurance.
Right.
You're responsible for any tickets you get.
Right.
You're responsible for making sure the car is maintained.
Right.
Whereas with a rental, the rental company takes care of all that.
Right. So it's more responsibility, but potentially more freedom too.
Exactly. Yeah, you have more control over the car.
Right.
You can drive it wherever you want.
Right.
You can use it for whatever you want.
Right.
You're not limited by the terms of a rental agreement.
Yeah. And I mean, you're also building equity in the car.
Well, sort of. I mean, it's a lease, so you don't actually own the car.
Right.
But you are building up a payment history.
Right.
Which can be helpful if you're trying to improve your credit.
Right. So there are some definite pros and cons to consider.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to weigh your options and see what makes the most sense for your situation.
Okay, so we've talked about the cars, we've talked about the lease. Now let's talk about the people, because you're dealing directly with Aaron.
Aaron and his dad.
Yeah, the owner and the head mechanic.
Yep. Family owned and operated, remember?
So what's that experience like?
Well, I think it's probably a lot more personal than dealing with a big rental company.
Right.
You know, you're not just a number, you're a customer that they actually care about.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's something that people are really looking for these days.
Absolutely. Yeah, people want to support small businesses, like
Right.
want to feel like they're part of a community.
Yeah, and I think that's something that Prius Doctor really offers.
I agree.
All right, so let's wrap this up.
Okay.
What are the key takeaways here?
Okay, so key takeaways. Prius Doctor offers affordable weekly leases on older Priuses with unlimited mileage.
Right.
They're a family-owned business, so you're dealing with real people.
Okay.
And they also have a repair shop, so you know the cars are well maintained.
Right.
So if you're looking for a flexible and affordable transportation option,
Especially if you're doing gig work.
especially if you're doing gig work, this could be a really great solution.
Yeah. All right, so is this the future of transportation?
I don't know about that, but it's definitely an interesting model.
It is.
I think it's something that we're going to see more of.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
People are looking for alternatives to traditional car ownership.
Absolutely.
All right, so if you're intrigued, go check out Prius Doctor's Berylum's website or give Aaron a call.
Yeah, see what they're all about.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.